Good evening. This message is to my friends, to friends of the Faith Friendship Villa, to members of the South Central Pennsylvania community at large, and to anyone listening. My name is Tammy Morris, and I'm the Executive Director of Faith Friendship Ministries in Mountville, Pennsylvania. This is one of the hardest messages I've ever had to share in my entire career in nonprofit leadership. After more than 2 decades of ministry, the Board of Faith Friendship Ministries has made the painful decision to begin an orderly closure of the Villa, our personal care home for low-income adults living with serious mental illness, intellectual disabilities, and other conditions. This decision was not rushed. It was not taken lightly. For years, we have fought to sustain the home through rising costs, increasing regulations, chronic underfunding of the personal care home supplement in PA, the long-term impacts of COVID, the sexual abuse crisis in 2022, and the most recent loss of funding we were relying on to stabilize operations in the short term. Our hearts are heavy, especially for our residents and staff who are the soul of this home. We are committed to walking through this transition with compassion, dignity, excellence, respect, love, and care, while still leaving room for God to move. I'm sharing this with all of you because transparency matters, and because the story is bigger than one home. What's happening here is happening across Pennsylvania, and vulnerable people are paying the price. 569 personal care homes in the state of Pennsylvania have closed their doors since 2008. Funding has remained flat or frozen since 2008, with one exception as a result of advocacy efforts of leaders like myself and others who are fighting the good fight, appealing to the lawmakers of Pennsylvania to increase the personal care home supplement, to keep pace with at least inflation, to help personal care homes actually do the good work of protecting the most vulnerable and being a resource to our community for those who have no other place to go. You see, our residents aren't well enough to live alone or with family members, and they're not unwell enough for permanent hospitalization. But without our care, that's highly probable. Let's go over some key points just for understanding for all of us together. We've served Lancaster County for over 20 years, providing housing, stability, community, family. These are residents with complicated and persistent mental illness, and they're often forgotten. And I'm not saying that as an indictment against people, but how systems are set up. And this is happening because of, again, the chronic underfunding of the Pennsylvania Personal Care Home Supplement. The rising staffing, regulatory, and operational costs associated with operating a personal care home. Of course, the impacts of COVID, which all of us felt and experienced differently, but meaningful nonetheless. And the loss of the expected stabilization funding, which in all transparency was really just kicking the can down the road a little bit further. Faith Friendship, since its inception, has technically been underfunded, but we have been able to raise the resources through community relationships, churches, businesses, and individuals in order to bridge that gap. But let's be real, the funding was never what it needed to be. They made do and created a great program with strong operations and processes. Not a perfect system, but one that could be modeled and improved upon to help protect those individuals who were mainstreamed when state hospitals closed. So who's impacted? 61 residents who call the Villa home, who've created community and family and stability. Some of our residents have been here for more than 20 years. They were here before the ministry even started, under another business at the time. 27 full-time dedicated staff who keep this place running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, serving with compassion and love and patience and kindness, calling and commitment. Their calling is strong, otherwise they wouldn't still be here. Their commitment is deep. They love what they do and who they do it for. They see the value in serving the most vulnerable. Who else is impacted? A community that is already facing a severe shortage of personal care home options. The demand is high and growing, and the supply is reducing drastically every year. From 2020 to now, 169 homes have closed in Pennsylvania. We can do something about this. It's obvious, the impact is clear, and we should do something about this because we as a society should take care of those who cannot take care of themselves. What are we doing now? We're implementing a carefully thought out 4 to 6 month transition plan. We're working with partners in the community at the state, the county, and the local level to ensure, in as much as possible, safe, appropriate resident placements. We're supporting staff through this difficult season with retention pay, placement assistance, and unemployment compensation help if they need it. And we're advocating fiercely for solutions even now. But those solutions have to be long-term stabilization solutions. They can't be more Band-Aids. We can't keep going from month to month wondering whether or not we'll be able to meet all the payrolls in that month. There's no rabbit in our hat. There's no tricks up our sleeve. There's no assets to leverage or to sell. We operate at a deficit all the time. No sound business would do that. But because we're committed as a nonprofit to serving those who don't have enough resources to take care of themselves or the means, we believe and know that this work is critical. It's been proven for 24 years. How can you help? Well, before I say that, let me just emphasize again that over 569 personal care homes have shut their doors in Pennsylvania since 2008. Again, demand is rising, funding is not. This is a systemic failure, not an isolated one. We can do better. I know we can. How can you help? Share this message to raise awareness, pray for our residents, staff, and for a path forward. Advocate with your elected officials. Many of them already know. Not many. A lot of them already know and have been introduced to the personal care home world. Stay connected because hope isn't gone. So while the board of directors has made this decision, and I as the executive director am charged and responsible with moving forward with this decision, we're still leaving room for God to move. Because we know Lancaster County and South Central Pennsylvania is a generous community. And we believe that once people know, they will care. They won't turn a blind eye. They'll want to take action to help protect the most vulnerable in the housing, the place that they call home. I don't understand a story that ends this way. And yes, I understand profit and loss, and I understand sustainability and whether the numbers work or not. So as a businesswoman, to all of you, the numbers don't work. They don't work because we're underfunded by 50%. We receive about $45.67 a day to take care of the residents. It's double that. And it's still so much more cost effective than the alternatives. Hospitalization, permanent hospitalization, homeless shelters, incarceration when people destabilize, and worse. This isn't a scare tactic. This is the truth. Residents, people, citizens with complicated and persistent severe mental illness need 24/7 care. Now, it may not be medical care like skilled nursing or assisted living, but we're part of that continuum of care. And as our friend Kim McDevitt over at Mental Health America of Lancaster County says, housing is healthcare. The model that we have at Faith Friendship is a good one. It's not without faults, and we've had our fair share of troubles. But the residents feel loved, connected, safe, and stable. And I believe how we treat the least of these in our community, those that are most vulnerable, tells us everything we need to know about our society. So I am pleading with you for them on behalf of Faith Friendship Ministries to help us really move forward, preserving their home with a real solution for the future. Because the reality is, friends, we need more faith friendships. We need more personal care home beds that serve low-income individuals, not less. I want to thank you for your time and thank you for listening to me. I know this was a really long message and there's so much more I want to share with you. But for now, I think that's enough. If you have any questions, you can call us. You can visit us at www.faithfriendship.org and know that we're here and we're ready to partner to create a sustainable pathway for personal care homes like ours and others throughout Pennsylvania, so that those that are most vulnerable and the people who love them don't have to fear for their future and wonder whether or not their community will help take care of them. Thank you, and God bless you.